All right, joining us right now for more on the wealth tax debate is Heidi Heitkamp. She is former Democratic Senator of North Dakota, also a CNBC contributor, and Pat Toomey, who is former Republican Senator of Pennsylvania. And welcome to both of you. Senator Toomey, why don't we give you first dibs at this, because I want to get into Heidi's more nuanced view of some of these things. But what's your takeaway on whether a tax like this is A, legal, and B, effective?
Well, so the bottom line is I think this is a remarkably bad idea from a state that is quite generous in providing us with bad ideas. First and foremost is the principle here. We are not anywhere in this country, to my knowledge, have we established the principle that the government is going to confiscate part of your assets to give them away to people to whom they don't belong. This is something new and different. We definitely take income. We take a disproportionately high share of the income from upper income people, certainly relative to their share of earnings. And that's because we have an extremely progressive tax system, and it's one of the most progressive in the entire OECD. But this would be a whole new idea that we're going to just confiscate part of your assets after, in most cases, people have paid income taxes on whatever it is that allowed them to accumulate these savings. A couple of other points I would make about this particular proposal. First of all, it's a lot of false advertising when they suggest this is going to be a one-time hit. That's the way it's drafted, but it also stipulates in the proposal that any revenue from this new tax has to go to expanding healthcare, and that means Medicaid as a practical matter. As we've seen, including very recently with respect to Obamacare, anytime you expand an entitlement, the left intends that expansion is permanent. And when the funding runs out and the spending continues, they're coming back for more. And when the exodus of billionaires, it's not going to be just billionaires. People are going to realize there's no limiting principle here. If you can confiscate the assets of a billionaire, why not someone who's worth 500 million or 100 million? And so the exodus will be profound. And these are the folks that pay the lion's share of the revenue to California. This is a disaster in the making if they proceed with this.
Senator Heitkamp, I'd ask you to defend the principle here and take the other side of that argument, but I don't think you want to.
Well, I've long said you can't really be successful in taxing unrealized capital gains. I will disagree with Pat on one thing. He says this is a new idea. This is not a new idea. This is called a personal property tax. And this personal property tax has been tried and failed in many, many states. It's been tried in a lot of other places across the world, and they've had to put the car in reverse and say it didn't work. And so let's also recognize that this is an initiative. They're going to need to get a lot of signatures. The governor of California has already suggested that he doesn't agree with this. I think some of this is an overreaction, but of course, when you're looking at an effective date of this retroactively, I think that causes a lot of concern when people look at it. But, the bottom line is that this is intrusive. This is not consistent with what we would call a taxable event. And Becky, as you know, also on my resume is I used to be a tax commissioner. Right. I used to do this for a living, and these are very, very hard to administer. And I think the left has gotten this idea that we don't really need to dig into the tax code to find those loopholes. What we really should do is just do another whole new tax. And I think there's a whole lot of ways to address income inequality, a whole lot of ways to address this the perception, if not reality, that rich people are not being taxed, than to simply embrace a wealth tax. I don't think it will work. I don't think it's going to pass. And I agree with Pat on one thing, that people, when they go to the polls, they say a billionaire today, it's me tomorrow.